Alright guys, so I'm sure by now you've seen the news that food stamps may potentially be getting cut soon due to the government shutdown, and my opinion on this is somewhat mixed because I can't imagine ever having to rely on the government for food assistance. Like, that really sucks to struggle like that, and if you had that and you may no longer have that for something that seems completely out of your control and arbitrary, that sucks, and I feel nothing but sympathy for you. Like, that really blows. Like, if you're getting food assistance for, you know, however many months with no issue, and then just like that, the government says no more, you're gonna get really upset, and I can totally understand that. Simultaneously, I see a lot of videos of people who are on this assistance program that are recording themselves shopping and having the money paid for by taxpayers, essentially, or having the food paid for by taxpayers, essentially, and it's definitely strange how some people on this assistance program are able to get more food than people who are actually working. Like, that would be like if you're, you know, getting assistance from the government because you're homeless and they give you a mansion. Like, that is a little strange in my opinion, right? Like, I've seen plenty of videos, and I'm sure you guys have seen them, where it'll be someone who, and maybe it's rage bait in a weird way, and I'm guessing that some of these people are lying about being on the program and then getting a lot of food, actually paying for it, and then just doing so to get some attention. Like, it's like outrageous. Wow, you got all that food, and they make it sound like it's getting paid for by food stamps, but they're actually paying for it out of pocket. I'm sure that's somewhat the case, but I also do think that a lot of these videos are completely real, and it's disturbing to see. Now, I don't know if the assistance program needs work or how exactly it even works, because I've never been on it, but at the end of the day, I do see a lot of people who are very clearly taking advantage of it, as people do with a lot of other government programs. You know, people who can and should be working are just not, and they're getting money from taxpayers, people who are working, and it seems a little bit of an abusive relationship. So anyway, let's take a look at this. Think Before You Sleep just hit 1 million subscribers, so congratulations to him. But he just dropped a video called Welfare Fatigue, and he's talking about the, you know, updates that are going on in the government. Huge government situation. The food stamp situation is crazy.
I'm so dumbfounded right now. There are people that genuinely think that people who use EBT don't deserve soda, candy, or desserts. You're gonna tell me that my daughter doesn't deserve a popsicle? You're gonna tell me I don't deserve to get brownies?
Oh man,
Okay, so the issue is, like, when you use the word deserve, like, you deserve something that you have rightfully deserved, right? And I think that kind of draws back to the question of if food is a human right. Because if something is a human right, you deserve it for doing nothing. Like, air is a human right. I deserve air because it's a human right. Whether food is a human right or not is tough, because a lot of food is produced, or it's farmed, or it's harvested in order to be edible, and then it's packaged and it's brought to you, right? So there was labor involved in the delivery of this food from wherever it originated to your plate, and that labor isn't free. And so when you say that labor should be something that you get without paying for it, that's basically like slavery, in my opinion. So that is kind of an issue. Now, I do think that we have, you know, we are the richest country in the world, so to some extent there shouldn't be people starving. Like, I think that's fucking crazy. But then you look at some of the people that are on EBT or food stamps, and they're fat, and it's like, well, in order to get fat, you have to be eating at a calorie surplus, like above your maintenance calories. So I don't, you know, it's like you're clearly not starving. There's a lot of things that don't make sense. I don't know.
Or doesn't deserve a popsicle? You're gonna tell me I don't deserve to get brownies?
It's like, okay, like, let's say you're on EBT. It's like, now what do you, like, what's the fucking point of this? Like, you're gloating to the TikTok audience that you feed your daughter crap. You know, you're having an imaginary conversation with somebody who is saying, yeah, you're on EBT, but you should still feed your daughter decent quality food, and you're mad at them for saying that? It's like a shitty mom.
Oh man, people are gonna get so much healthier now thanks to the new administration. Which means not only are we going to save a few dollars by reducing SNAP benefits, but also the consequence of people not eating brownies every day will probably save us billions of dollars in preventable diseases.
You're gonna tell me I can't have Dr. Pepper with my dinner?
Yep, that shit's bad for you anyway. Are there actually people who drink soda every day? No wonder America has tons of fat people.
And
well, hey, I know Think Before You Sleep might not have planned this, but I know Asmongold reacts to some of Think Before You Sleep's videos. He drinks soda every hour, so
all I'm hearing is be grateful, be grateful. It's free food. Get off of your throne of entitlement and take a look around, you guys.
Okay, like, again, that's the irony, right? Like, you are getting free food and you're telling us, the people who aren't getting it, that we're entitled? What?
Everyone is one bad day away from being homeless or even needing government assistance. Do you guys not see how that makes you look? Your lack of empathy and understanding is outstandingly
No, the lack of understanding is you saying that most people are one bad day away from homelessness. Like, that's not really how it works. You're talking like people who are on EBT aren't usually the victims of their own bad decisions. And like, these people could in many cases work. They are getting, and you know, this is a similar program, like we're talking about welfare. I'm pretty sure disability checks are part of the welfare program. And so, you know, you have people who are using obesity as a valid disability when that's something that they could easily prevent and taxpayers are paying for.
Atrocious.
Holy crap, she hit like every item on the sociopathic bullying checklist in like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
She says you don't have empathy if you don't want people stealing your money. She calls you entitled as she complains that she can't spend someone else's money on luxury food items. And she does this new thing that's in Meta, which is like, just remember, one bad accident can make you disabled or one bad day at work could make you broke. Which basically kind of sounds like a threat, like they're threatening you with bad luck if you don't do what they say.
Yeah.
But no, one bad day won't make me homeless because I'm not a drug addict, I'm not terrible with money, and I haven't burnt bridges with all my family and friends, so even if bad things did happen, I would still have a place to stay. But as the term fatigue goes up in popularity, I think the core issue of why people are saying they are tired is because they are tired of all the people who are just a complete burden on society, trying to tell us what to do and acting like they're the moral authority. Society has hit the point where we are just done with everybody abusing the system, and then watching excuse after excuse for why we are the bad people for pointing out that stealing is immoral.
Exactly. Like, she also says that everyone's one bad day away from this thing. And what she's doing is she's basically trying to use an extreme example of someone suffering either like a crazy injury or having a major crash out. Like, let's say that you eventually, like, let's say in this insane scenario, you actually do something in the span of one day that causes you to go from financially stable to completely homeless. That would be the most radical thing that could happen to somebody. That could be somebody getting, you know, a serious life-threatening injury. That could be somebody going through a complete mental breakdown and like self-destructing, destroying their life, you know, gambling all their money away, giving away all their possessions. That's an extreme scenario, right? And that's not something that you should get to weaponize in order to justify feeding your daughter fucking Dr. Pepper!
Want to know what's the most embarrassing take? Thinking that a human doesn't deserve necessities like food, water, shelter. It's baffling to me that some people feel like...
Okay, this is the issue. This is the second time we've used the D word. See, she'll use it again. Listen very closely. What's the D word?
Shelter.
Ready? Hold on.
That a human doesn't deserve.
Deserve. Everyone is deserving something means you're entitled to it, right? And when she says food, water, and shelter, shelter requires somebody to put in work to build it. Food requires somebody to work to give it to you and to harvest it or to make it. And then water requires somebody to filter it, somebody to distill it, somebody to bottle it, somebody to distribute it. There's labor required in all of these things. And we have the money to pay for a lot of these processes. And I think food accessibility, water accessibility, and homelessness, like, we live in the best country in the world, in my opinion. These are things that we should tackle and we shouldn't have as a, you know, pressing issue. And I mean, to be fair, compared to a lot of other countries, they're not fucking nearly as pressing, right? I mean, people fucking immigrate to America because of, you know, the food accessibility, or because of the water, because of the shelter, right? But simultaneously, it's not to say that it isn't a problem. When you say deserve, learn what that word means, right? To say we should have something is different than saying we deserve to have it. A little bit different.
Necessity.
I mean, it's a semantics thing, but at the end of the day, I hate when people say deserve, because you do not deserve other people's, you know, labor, right? Unless you're paying for it. And you're asking for it for free, so you don't deserve it.
Like food, water, shelter. It's baffling to me that some people feel like other people need to earn food. Not everybody should have access to food or shelter or water. Basic human necessities.
These things mean completely different things than how you're using them, right? Listen to how she's saying this.
To food.
Hold on. 1 second.
Food. Not everybody should have access to food.
So again, this is saying should versus deserve. You should have access to food. You should have access to these things. I agree. Versus it's like you're using these two words as if they mean the same thing. You don't.
Food or shelter or water. Basic human necessities.
I mean, it's pretty easy to find free water, but outside of that, if you don't pay for it yourself, you don't get anything. Unless you are genuinely too disabled to work. But Americans should not have to be forced to help the large pool of people who don't want to help themselves. I'm all for teaching people how to acquire these resources. I'm all for reducing market corruption or getting rid of illegal aliens, which are things that will make this stuff a lot more affordable for Americans. For sure. But outside of that, I'm not doing your work for you.
Not on my tax dollars. Nope. Me. I. Never you.
Allow me to fix that by emphatically saying, fuck you. What kind of world are we in where you are considered to be selfish for saying that you don't want to be stolen from by people who are too lazy to do their own work?
Yeah.
Because I love how these guys will pretend that there aren't shitloads of people who are abusing the system.
So, I mean, I'll just disclose this because I have nothing really to hide. When I was 18 years old and I made a shitload of money on the first year when my channel really started to take off, you're not going to believe how much I paid in taxes. It made me want to throw up. I paid about $35,000 of taxes. And I know there's probably some super rich people watching this video and they're like, huh, that's fucking nothing. And some people who are, maybe broke as fuck watching this and they're like, holy shit, what? And it's like, yeah, I know. Imagine being 18 years old and being smart enough to start your own YouTube channel and make it work, and then getting raped by the government for being successful and independent, and knowing that that money is going to go back to, in some cases, people like this who complain about it. It's kind of disgusting, right?
Do for work. I don't. I'm professionally disabled.
Bro, what the hell?
And his job is
taking care of the professionally disabled.
Jesus
he gets paid
Christ.
for taking care of me.
Oh my God.
Instead of doing it for free.
Professionally disabled. What's your disability? Being too fat? You know the reason they don't openly state their disabilities is because they are either fake or self-inflicted and curable. This isn't a disabled person who needs welfare. This is a scammer who is openly bragging about it.
Yeah.
So I have to say that if you eat your way into a disability, then you should not get welfare for that. In fact, she would be cured of her disability really quickly if she couldn't afford food. Literally being killed by welfare, yet I'm a terrible person for pointing that out. I mean, it's shocking how many of these people who are telling you they would starve without food stamps are morbidly obese. And I actually...
Like, that's sort of a glaring irony that I don't think, no matter how liberal you are on this stuff, you can ignore.
kind of find it messed up to see people who are just flat out faking disabilities, like people who fake having Tourette's, or claim they are
But I also do think that has to do with the options that are provided at grocery stores, like, and how there is obviously, the cheapest stuff can be the most like slop, just garbage for you. So it goes hand in hand. Like, obviously you are making, you have the vote with your dollar sort of thing. You have to be a conscious consumer and actively avoid eating shit and, choosing to eat healthy foods. Simultaneously, the accessibility of all this dog shit makes it so that people who would have never had to filter out the dog shit now are basically being shown it and they're going to eat it, So if you just get rid of all of it, from a government side of things, just ban all the dog shit, then we'll be better off. So
too disabled to work because they have issues that normal people have.
No, I don't really have a job. Ew, why? I'm disabled. How are you disabled? Well, I mean, there are a lot of ways. The first thing on top of my head is standing out here is my allergies.
This person is 34 years old, by the way.
Okay.
Now, I will say that the effects of having allergies suck and they can be debilitating. However, like half of America is allergic to pollen, and there are medications that you can take to get rid of the side effects.
That's true.
You can also keep your living space clean. I guarantee you she doesn't do that.
Right.
But the point is that she is not too disabled to work.
Yeah, I similarly think that people, I don't want to generalize here because I know when you talk about health stuff, everyone's got a story. But when I was a freshman in college, there was a guy who was my roommate assigned by the university for a few months. And then he moved out because he wanted to go to do culinary school somewhere else. But he lived with me and he basically said that he was immunocompromised because he kept getting sick, while he was my roommate for like a few months. And he did get sick like once a month or twice a month. And it was pretty bad. And I got sick because of him. And I learned that he wasn't immunocompromised. His hygiene was literally just India tier. Respectfully, he would not shower at all. He left his clothes on the floor. He would eat bananas and leave the peels literally on his desk for days at a time. And he had just had every disgusting habit you can think of. Yet he blamed his sickness on his immune system being kind of by default settings weaker than other people's. And I just don't think that's true at all. It's just how you're living.
One of my Insta comments said that they hope that I get to experience pushing through pain to succeed. And they hope I get a job. So they're just doing eugenics.
If telling someone to get a job is eugenics, then eugenics sounds pretty based. I have no idea what telling someone to work an 8-hour shift has to do with selective breeding, but I guess that's eugenics now. Though you know what? Good. Keep making videos like this because the more you do, the more you will piss off the people who are forced to enable you with their tax dollars.
That's true.
And the more they will fight for change. That's how fat acceptance got killed.
You don't even need a job, though. That's the thing. You just need an income source. People conflate the two. Like, literally, if you just find a way to get money on a frequent basis that can sustain you for a long period of time, that is just as good as a job. I mean, you don't have an employer and you don't have a salary, but if you're making enough money, like, I don't, like, is this technically, I mean, it's technically not a job what I do, but I've been doing it for like 5 years and I've made enough money to where I feel comfortable doing it for the foreseeable future. So it's like, you know, kind of fine. And it feels kind of weird for me to tell other people to get a job, right? It's like, no, just get your money up. Find a way to do it. It's not that hard. You can find a gimmick online. You can find a side hustle. Like, there's so many things to do out there. You have AI at your disposal. I talked about this in another video. Ask AI for some advice on how to, you know, make $5,000 a month from your computer. There's ways to do it. I'm not going to get it. I'm not a financial advice channel, but I can tell you, I know people who are doing it. It's not that hard. Even if you're some fat retard who claims to be disabled because they sneeze once an hour, you can lay in bed and piss yourself, literally, and you could still be making this passive income. It's so easy.
No one puts up with that shit anymore. For those of you who watched my video on FatCon, a convention for fat people that I made a while back,
I'm sure
you
that
might
went well.
recognize J-Bay, who was shown at the start of the video, talking about how happy she was to go to FatCon.
Announcement time. Ready? I don't think you're ready. Get ready. All right, y'all. Your girl Jay is officially going to FatCon 2025.
Well, it turns out that she never made it to FatCon because she got arrested for trespassing in a hospital
we watched
after
this.
she faked being sexually assaulted. The body cam
Brutal.
footage just got released, and the whole time the police are not putting up with any of her shit. Here's her trying to order a cop around like a servant as she pretends to call a shelter because she has burnt bridges with anybody who would help her.
I don't know. Do I want to watch this? We've already looked at this. But let's get past this. This has nothing to do with welfare.
Speaking of, I haven't fully gotten into the people who scam the welfare system
There we
professionally.
go. Thank you.
I went into a lady's house for an inspection, and she said, I've had my voucher for 50 years. I made sure that I got my daughter on a voucher. I made sure I got my granddaughter on a voucher. I couldn't get my son on a voucher, so I told them that he had asthma. You can't prove asthma or migraines. She told me because she was telling me a way to scam the system. Because when I pull up in a 2013 Toyota Camry. There's usually a Lexus or BMW sitting in their yard. I look poor, okay? I look poor. And so many people tell me stuff to give me ideas to help me out so that I can get some money from the government.
We need to make it so that you're like afraid of scamming the fucking government. Like, you should be like actually terrified to scam the government. You know, the literal governing body of every single citizen of this country. Like, I don't understand. You should be fine, or like, you know, not fine with, but like less scared to scam like your buddy John, you know, for like $5 or something. You should not be ready to take on the government this easily, and like, you know, with this level of nonchalantness. It's very scary. But yeah, I don't know. Going back to this whole general idea of scamming the government, it's just, why are you so happy about being a fucking leech? You know, like, I don't understand this. There's no nobility in poverty, and that's a quote from The Wolf of Wall Street, and I understand that might be corny to bring up, but it's so true. Like, if you're like a fucking bum, and like, you know, your life is just kind of like this string of life hacks that's getting you by, and by life hacks, I more so mean like ethically questionable things that you're doing that take advantage of the people and systems around you. It's like, you're just a leech. You're a mooch. You suck. Like, why are you happy with this? Why is this cool to you? I see these people who, there's this guy who does like homeless tips, and his homeless tips are just like finding glitches and like rewards points for fast food apps. It's like, if you download the app, use the reward, you know, the free download coupon first, you know, you download the app, you get a free drink, but then you delete the app and then you re-download it, you get a new free drink. I'm like, dude, that's just like weird. You're like literally a bum. And you like, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's helpful for some people, but it's like, is this what you want your life to be? Why don't you just be like a normal person and like get a job? I know I just said that was sort of an irony in me saying that, but it's like, dude, at the end of the day, you need to get past finding glitches in apps to get your coffee. Pay for your fucking coffee.
But y'all keep on thinking I don't know.
Like, you're a scam artist.
I know this might seem like a shock to some people, and I don't think it's every case. But yes, some people are very good at scamming the welfare system to the extent where they have more stuff than people who are actually working, and to the extent where they will steal into the tens of thousands of dollars in benefits from the taxpayers or more. I mean, that has to be felony levels of theft, but you still have jackass liberals like that girl from before saying that you're evil for talking about this.
And since every one of you are going to ask me, yes, I reported it. But if your caseworker likes you, you are pretty untouchable here. Like, they will give you ideas and help you do it.
Is that true?
If they want free food and shelter, then they can get that in a jail cell. And those caseworkers who are letting this happen should suffer criminal penalties too. Anyway, the hatred of welfare flunkies is at an all-time high, and now they're all mad that some of their benefits are being cut.
Just find out there's no EBT next month. My heart. There's no EBT next month. What is this pumpkin man doing, bro? Why the fuck we gotta starve on Thanksgiving? Are you dead ass, pumpkin man? How the fuck am I supposed to afford groceries if you gotta suffer? On Thanksgiving too.
No matcha lattes for you, I guess. I'm so glad this is happening during the holiday season. Merry Christmas, assholes. But people who can clearly provide for themselves refusing to because they're being given free money is why things like SNAP benefits are being cut. The idea is to get people working and taking care of themselves again, so that we have a society full of productive people instead of a society full of useless leeches who prey on the people who actually work.
Yeah.
Well, in response,
like a leech
some
thing.
of the affected parties have a solution to their benefits being cut.
It's very much like that old saying where it's like mercy to the guilty. What is it? It's like mercy to the guilty is punishment to the innocent, I think, is what it is. Something along those lines. It's like some criminal justice quote where, you know, if you're letting criminals roam free and you think that that's good because you're not punishing them, well, you're actually punishing the people who they harmed, right? So you have to punish crime. And similarly, I think that if you're giving people free shit for not working, then you're punishing the people who are working by extension. And that's not fair because, well, I mean, those two things going hand in hand are like gonna create a disaster shitstorm. You have to support people who are working, and you also have to not support people who are leeching, right? Very simple.
Y'all better stay the fuck out of my.
Like, it's very simple. Reward good behavior, punish bad behavior.
Some of the affected parties have a solution to their benefits.
Don't do the opposite.
Y'all better stay the fuck out of my way in these stores. I'm walking out with carts and I'm not paying for shit. Trump, if you want, motherfuckers start looting, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna be stealing like it ain't no tomorrow. And I'm gonna have one of my cousins with me that'll punch your so hard you gonna think a Jet 2 holiday hit your bitch ass if you think I ain't finna walk out that stuff. I don't know about the rest of you motherfuckers, but I'm getting my shit because I'm gonna tell you just like this on Jesus Lamar motherfucking Christ. I will be at motherfucking Walmart with my steel toes on.
Like, why are you so loud, dude? Why are they like
that stuff? I don't know about the rest of you motherfuckers, but I'm getting my shit because I'm gonna tell you.
You're so welcome. I can still hear her too. That's the crazy part. I'm not unmuting this. I'm actually not. I can't. I literally cannot do it. Okay.
Do it. Let her steal. She'll be the first person to attempt a getaway from a cop and get caught at a brisk walking pace. You want to tell me that this lady who eats so much that she is at least 120 pounds overweight is some poor victim who would starve without food stamps?
Yeah, so they're threatening to steal food, which is funny because in a way, if you're on EBT, you kind of already are in some cases.
Now, this might be Twitter racism occurring here, so this could be inaccurate, but is it just me, or do all of these threats of theft seem to be coming from the same group of people? Well, I guess that's understandable, since certain groups are a much higher burden on the welfare system than others by percentage. But I think everyone has been so worried about being
Well, I mean, to be fair, though, I think that that's because if we're talking about people who are going to be the most reliant on government assistance programs, it'll be people in lower income areas, and those are predominantly black neighborhoods, right? So, I mean, that's literally just due to, like, the economy or, like, the, what do you want to call it, rather than race, socioeconomic status.
higher burden on the welfare system than others by percentage. But I think everyone has been so worried about being called a bigot that we feel like we aren't allowed to point out that most of the problem behaviors come from the same types of people. Well, personally, I don't care. I would rather be falsely called a bigot than be stabbed on a train, and as I have pointed out in other videos, the people who share similar group identities hate the criminals because they have to deal with them the most, or the criminals make them look bad and they get judged negatively because of other people's actions. It's sad. So excuse me for pointing out things like this, or things like invasive foreigners trying to tell you how to behave in your own country. Like African migrants telling you that you can't film in public in America as they dirty your street with illegal markets.
This is Savannah Hernandez in New York City, and okay, my friends, I was just driving down the street, I was Ubering, and I saw this huge market of
The thing is, I know she's going to complain about the migrants selling illegal bags. Wow, this guy's literally just got his entire ass out. That's great. I've actually bought some shit from here before. I'm not going to lie, you know? You buy some shit from here, you give it to a girl, she says thank you. He doesn't have the, you know, the sharpness to verify if it's real. You feel like a hero. She feels like you're a hero. It's all great. So
African migrants selling all of these bags along this sidewalk. Is these migrants
This is
very
awesome.
similar to Paris?
Don't get this shut down.
I can't film here, and that I wasn't allowed to be.
Bro, they're in New York. You think they're gonna be able to afford a fucking real Louis bag, dude? They're already paying an arm and a leg in rent. Like, these guys are actually doing a community service, okay?
Using my camera. So they're being a little bit of aggressive. I was speaking to one of the migrants, and he ended up telling me that they don't have the license to sell these purses.
No
It's illegal,
shit.
and if the cops catch them, they will come and take away all of their products.
Yeah, this shit is annoying, and Americans don't want their cities to be full of people who are almost certainly not legally in the U.S.
Right.
And like other people, I've also noticed that these types of undesirable behaviors only seem to come from people from certain countries.
Anti-foreigners mainly means anti-third world foreigners, to be honest. Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, obviously.
Right, it's only certain groups that are a problem, and people realize that, but because of woke screeching over the past decade...
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't even know why that's controversial. It's like, if you're bringing in people into your country, right, you would want them to be productive. Like, just how you want anybody in any place at any time to be productive. I don't understand how that sounds controversial, and I think, actually, no, never mind, I do. It's because people are, when people say third world, the bad behavior that comes from third world immigrants is all, usually because the people in the third world immigrants, they're, like, not white. Like, they're either brown or black, right? And when that bad behavior is coming from that racial group, but primarily it's due to the fact that they're coming from broken countries, people feel bad about highlighting it because of the racial factor. Yeah. Right.
We are culturally not allowed to point out specific problem areas so that they can be fixed. We just have to say it's a systemic thing that can't be changed. But the reality is that this is not helpful to anyone, and it doesn't lead to any actual solutions. But I think I have an answer. Allow me to introduce you to the Harry Potter house cup.
Well, and the thing is, like, when we're talking about, at least with merit-based immigration, you can discuss why or why not that's a good idea. And some people are just anti-immigration altogether. The argument for merit-based immigration at least eliminates a lot of this whole, importing third world nonsense. Because even if you're importing people from underdeveloped countries, you are still getting their best, in theory at least. In practice, not so much. But the idea of merit-based immigration is that regardless of where someone's from, if they are highly skilled and can be, a positive force in society, a contributor, then they should be allowed, obviously with certain stipulations. But I don't mind that idea. I really don't. I just think the idea of it being en masse, where you're getting tens of millions of new people who in no way can they properly assimilate to the culture of America in such a short period of time, is causing a problem. And at the very least, it causes friction.
For those of you who haven't seen the movies or read the books, the students at Hogwarts School are divided into 4 houses, and each house is like a team that can earn or lose points. And at the end of the year, the house with the most points wins.
I'm very disappointed in you, Miss Granger. 5 points will be taken from Gryffindor. As for you two...
Is that, what's her name?
You, Miss Granger. 5 points will be
forget her
taken
name.
from Gryffindor. As for you two gentlemen, not many first-year students could take on a fully grown mountain troll and live to tell the tale. 5 points will be awarded to each of you.
In that case, all 3 of them were in the same house, but you get the points. Your team gains points for good deeds and loses points for bad deeds. So it's really simple. Harry Potter House Cup for race. This is clearly how people realistically perceive race or any people who belong to a group. The reality is that if you're wronged by a lot of people who belong to the same group, subconsciously, you're going to have a really negative opinion of that group. And on the opposite side, if you have a lot of positive experiences with a certain
obvious.
group,
It's
you will
pattern
perceive that
recognition.
group more positively. And just to address the people who have been constantly shouting racism every 5 seconds like the boy who cried wolf, allow me to remind you that the people who do that are the most in favor of identity politics and
That's
judging
true.
people based on the groups they belong to. As long as you're making group judgments against white people or...
And I'll be honest, I do have to check myself sometimes because it's very easy to see a few clips of people from different racial groups or, different sexual minorities being very boisterous and obnoxious and determining that this must be a unshakable fact of their identity, that with their label comes all these other negative adjectives like they're annoying, they're loud, they're obnoxious. And I do try to make sure that I'm not blanket assuming things about other groups of people based on a few clips, right? Because that's like one of the most important things about propaganda is that if you're shown a few clips and you don't know about something that's happening, you can be easily influenced. Like if I'm shown all this shit about North Korea and it's like, oh, North Korea is a terrorist thing, they're a dictatorship, whatever, and this whole time North Korea is actually a beautiful haven, it's a paradise. Well, I've been a victim of propaganda, right? So I don't know. I try to be fair with my, judgment of behavior in groups, and I think everybody should too, because it's really easy to see. And I've covered, the whole black fatigue thing, or I've talked about trans people and different minority groups. And the reality is you should keep these things all in mind, but do not allow them to interfere with the way you treat individuals like at all. That's very silly, right? That's just going to be a dumb thing that you do. If you see someone, you don't know their story, and it's important to keep that in mind.
Men or straight people. Though personally, I think people should be judged on an individual basis, and
Exactly,
I try to do that to the best of my ability.
Yes.
But unfortunately, doing so is not a natural impulse, and people are judged by the
That's
groups
true.
they belong to, which is why we have the Harry Potter rules.
Yeah.
Everybody gets to play. We are all representatives of our group, and your positive or negative actions will affect your group's total score.
Of course.
What crimes have they committed?
Trump?
Yeah, the ones in the Oval Office. What crimes have those people committed?
You want to look it up on Wikipedia? There's like a list.
Well, you made the sign, so I'm asking you.
It's true. I'm at a protest, though.
Yeah.
I don't need to know anything. I'm here for my community.
That's minus 5 points for white people for being retarded. Seriously, liberal white women...
He did this in Japan a lot, where whenever he did a good deed, he said this is plus 10 points for white people.
and alt-right groypers and unseasoned food probably cost white people the most points.
When Southwood High had a problem with students fighting, they turned to Dad Power.
Y'all ready to have a good day at school?
The dads on duty are a team of volunteer fathers who mingle with the students, spreading positive vibes.
This is great.
It's led to a
This is really good.
reduction in violence.
Positive role models.
There we go. Sounds like a great idea. Plus 20 points for black people. I love it when people try to de-escalate and stop violence.
Breaking all the chocolate frogs.
Vandalizing store property because
minus 10 points.
You don't like J.K. Rowling? Minus 5 points for black people. Like I said, this game is simple, and it's how people realistically see race.
No, yeah, literally. Like, this is ultimately how it goes. And he's so right. For most people, they are keeping, like, a mental tally of their positive and negative interactions or experiences with people of different racial groups. And this is just how it's done, right? You know, if you get mugged by a black person, it's minus 50 points. If a black person says that he likes your shoes or, or that your outfit looks good or, that you have, like, a good singing voice or you can dance or whatever. If you get some kind of compliment from somebody of a different racial group, it's plus 10 points, If you make a new friend on the game from like random voice chats and they carry you and you realize that they're of, let's say, Asian descent, that's plus 15 points for Asian people. This is how this works. It's really simple.
You can complain about bullshit like systemic racism that doesn't actually exist, or you can understand that there's a reason why white Americans have a good reputation in other countries. Because I remember when I was a kid and traveled to different places outside of America, my mom told me, we're in a different country, you're representing America right now, don't mess around.
Yeah.
And we got in trouble anytime we did things that would make Americans look bad. The end result of this is that people in foreign countries treat you better because of that cultural value. Again, it's really simple. If you want people to like you, stop being an asshole. If you want people to like your group, then help foster a culture that makes your group more likable.
Mm-hmm.
Like this culture of crime and teaching others how to be better criminals has to stop.
It's how you burn off a sensor. Go get right on the side of that, like that.
Really? Why is it always Target? Oh,
of course,
I heard
the
it.
smoke detector. That had to be expected. She had stolen clothes on her shopping list, but not a 9-volt battery. I mean, this shit has become such an accurate stereotype that someone made a movie trailer out of it.
Someone gonna do something about that. There's this constant beeping sound. Do y'all hear that? We don't hear anything. Where are the batteries? The batteries for the smoke detector.
I couldn't stop laughing at this. Please make it into an actual movie. And before people get defensive, allow me to remind black people that these liberals are not your friends. Not only do they constantly preach behaviors and enact policies that will increase the likelihood that black people will get robbed or stabbed, but the minute black people say or do something they don't like, they get thrown under the bus.
So I can't be black and MAGA. Oh, you can be black and MAGA. You're a fucking sellout. Oh. You're a sellout. How am I a sellout? You're a piece of shit. I can't have my own opinion. Absolute. I can't have my own opinion. You hate yourself so much.
Bro, that's crazy.
The news reporters aren't your friends either. You're just a tool to them, and you're being used.
So you don't think you can be a sincere black MAGA person?
No, I just said, I don't think that, I just said, I think there can be sincere Republicans.
But you can't be a sincere black Republican?
I don't think that you can be a rational MAGA, be black and be a rational MAGA person. I think you can be black and be a Republican.
What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that actually mean, a MAGA person? Like, you can't be a black MAGA person? Why? Explain that. Obviously, if we take MAGA person as a person who believes in the phrase, make America great again, that is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Anybody can believe in that, right? If you're talking about Trump supporter, that is on par with being as stupid as the first thing, because Trump has a myriad of policies that can appeal to anybody and just so happen to have won him 2 presidencies. So
I think they would find that very insulting.
Right. It is insulting. And it's quite the flip, because Don Lemon used to say the same stuff that I'm saying.
Because black people, if you really want to fix the problem, finish school. You want to break the cycle of poverty? Stop telling kids are acting white because they go to school or they speak proper English. Respect where you live. Start small by not dropping trash, littering in your own communities. And number one, and probably the most important, just because you can have a baby, it doesn't mean you should.
This is the most true thing I have ever seen. I think that it's incredibly important that if you honestly cannot be raising a child to a 2-parent household, then you really shouldn't have a child, I think. Like, if you're in a situationship, if you're not married and with the goal of staying together for life with your partner and having a child with them, then you shouldn't have a baby, in my opinion. Like, I truly believe that.
The most important, just because you can have a baby, it doesn't
maybe unless you're Elon Musk, because that guy is, but you're not Elon Musk.
Mean you should.
Though the shift shouldn't be that much of a shock, because these people are liars and will flip on any issue the minute it becomes politically convenient for them to do so.
I think we got to have tough conditions.
What's this?
Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked.
True.
They're gone. If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes. And you have to try to learn English. And you have to wait in line.
Did you know that all of these people were against illegal immigration until like 5 minutes ago? I mean, these are all things the left would call you deeply racist for saying, but when
I'm pretty sure part of why they're so interested in it is because it wins them votes. People who are coming from countries that are not America to America almost unanimously vote blue. So it makes sense when you can just get free votes by bringing them into the country.
I was younger, this was their narrative. They don't care about you. So why would you follow their leadership and why would you follow their rules instead of doing what works?
I wanted to come on here and talk about something that is really starting to annoy me. So I applied for a job at TJ Maxx.
And she didn't get it. We've all seen this clip. What does Sean say?
Quicker.
I think it's great that she wants to pay off her debt and actually get a job, unlike these welfare flunkies. But gee, I wonder why they don't want to hire you. Can anyone figure out why a department store that frequently has children present would not want someone who dresses like a demon?
Well, yeah, that's pretty obvious. I think we've already talked about this. What's this next clip?
Are now listening.
Okay, I posted a video about men not liking me. And the comment section is just absolutely frying me at the moment. But the amount of people that brought up my nose ring is wild. And then someone said I look like a Democrat because of the nose ring. So I'm taking it out. I just want to see, because I don't take this thing out.
Damn.
I just want to see. I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to put this back in. Oh, I got it. Oh, fuck, I like it. God. Sorry.
That's funny.
Bad reaction. I like the no nose ring. Oh my god, I never thought I'd say that.
That's awesome.
Another bullying success story.
Okay. Well, I don't know if the rest of this is about welfare, but I think we've got the point. If you guys enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. And I'll see you guys all next time.